How y'all doing? Oh man, so much news, man. It's all coming out so fast. I just wanted to go live real quick to talk about something. I was gonna make a video about it, and I probably still will, but this Wilder stuff, man. Tell you what, the Wilder business in the realm of comedic value is a very lucrative business. It is. People love hearing jokes and shit like that because there's no shortage of jokes you can tell. Apparently, per a rumor from Kevin Barry, who trains Joseph Parker, used to train Iswag Bilgono, Kevin Barry heard on the rumor mill that Shelly Finkel and Deontay Wilder actually split, and I guess that the split must have took place some time ago because Shelly is said to have left the contract on his table. He didn't even look at it, which is kind of consistent with what Bob Arum said. Bob Arum, y'all might remember that a couple of weeks ago, Bob Arum said he'd be surprised if Shelly even saw the contract. I think now we know what he was talking about. You gotta love it, man. You gotta love it. I was goody. Andrew, JD, Ziggy was good. Dr. Wu was good. EJ was good. Water Machine was good. Dreamland was good. Boxing God. Shout out to y'all. But yeah, I guess now we know what Bob Arum was talking about, because I thought that what Bob Arum said, it sounded very cryptic. It was like, I didn't make a lot of it, but when I heard it, I'm like, why would Shelly have not seen the contract? Like, I don't know. What do you mean he didn't see the contract? You said you'd be surprised if Shelly saw the contract? He said something along those lines. I'm like, what does that mean? Well, I guess now we know what it meant. Finkel says not true. Oh, Shelly finally came out of hiding? Because this is why I wanted to refrain from doing a video on it. I don't want to dedicate too much time to it. I'd rather just freestyle it and talk about it openly, because I haven't heard anything from Finkel. I don't think we've heard anything from Shelly Finkel in a very long time. You know, the most that we've heard about Finkel was in the buildup of where we are right now, basically, because I remember that Finkel asserted a couple of times that there would be a third fight and that they are going to, see about making a third fight. I remember that, which is why I didn't rush. I didn't have a knee-jerk reaction to the news. I'm like, bro, it's boxing, bro. You better take your time with this news, because, you know what I'm saying, Catacol was good. I'm trying to get that Michaela May interview, man. She's very elusive. She's a very busy person, but I'm going to get her. I'm going to get her. Rob Tebbett followed up, and Finkel says, in fact, we are probably strong. Oh, so I guess they had makeup sex. I'm sorry. There's too many jokes to tell, man. Oh, man, there's too many jokes to tell. Base was good. Nathan, Shelly has gone into hiding after the Alien Files. There's just too many jokes to tell, man. Like, like they probably made up, they kissed and made up, like, Wilder, I know I costed you a lot of money, but I love yous. You gotta understand that, I love yous. He got that old, he has that old Burgess Meredith accent. Like, what Deontay Wilder chose was for more money. I have way too much fun with that news. I try not to be gratuitous with it, like to just consistently keep making Wilder videos, because I notice a lot of people do that. And there's more news to cover than just Wilder and his long list of problems. But man, is it funny, man. It's hilarious, man. Jules, your B-Day been and gone, and yet, oh no, mine's came and went already. Team Capricorn, man. Mine's came and went already. Appreciate that, Eb Sosa. I saw your big chromanum chin. Oh shit, appreciate that. Salute, bro. I appreciate that. Oh man, but yeah, man, there's so many good jokes to tell, man. Like, did you watch Boo Boo's latest interview? Your thoughts? I did. I watched Punch Drunk's interview. Shout out to Punch. He's doing magnificent things for fan-driven media, because that's the real media I see. You know, that's the media that actually guys like Punch are doing a service to the sport of boxing. They really are, and I appreciate what Punch is doing for the sport. He's a friend of the channel. He's a nice guy. But I saw the interview, and all right, we've heard Demetrius Andrade's side of it. That I always look at everything as having two sides. That's Demetrius' side of it. What's Canelo's side of it? You know, I don't chastise Demetrius Andrade for what's not on his resume, because I know that nobody's really in a hurry to fight him, Canelo included. But at the same time, Canelo Alvarez went up to 175 and fought Sergey Kovalev. Everybody wants to say, oh, Sergey was old, Sergey was this, Sergey was that. Well, if he's so easy to beat, why didn't someone else go up there and beat him? Why didn't Gennady Golovkin? Why didn't Callum Smith? Why didn't Billy Joe Saunders? If it's so easy, more people would do it. But you see Canelo do it, and everybody wants to rush to criticism. Ultimately, I think that Demetrius is a great fighter. He's a good champion. He's a two-division champion. He doesn't have the best resume, but you're not high on the priority list because you don't have a lot of marquee value. And I understand that, well, Canelo's fought other guys that don't have a lot of marquee value. That still doesn't make you distinguishable from them. And that's what it's all about. You have to make yourself a financial incentive. You have to give him a reason to want to fight you. And I'm not trying to make excuses for him. I'm just telling you how it works. Appreciate that, based kid. Red Bull it is. But yeah, I mean, it's Canelo Alvarez. You know, you can't wag your finger in that guy's face and try to tell him what he has to do. He's been doing what he wants for years now. And I've grown indifferent to it. I've grown indifferent to it. That I'm like, well, look, this is how it works, bro. I don't gotta like it. You ain't gotta like it. But that's the way it is. Nothing I can do about it. It's not like we're talking about the WBC where there should be an etiquette. We're talking about Canelo, you know. Let's be honest, Andrade isn't in. Well, I'm going to say this. I don't feel that way. I like watching good fighters fight, you know, and I think Andrade's a good fighter. The thing is that he's stuck in a rock and a hard place. There were a couple of fights that he could have had that he walked away from, and there are other fighters that walked away from him. It's a perfect storm. You know, it is a perfect storm. That there was times when he could have had certain fights. I remember hearing that Sergey Dedevianchenko was on the table for him. That didn't materialize. You know, and we know about the Jermel stuff that a couple of years ago he walked away from a Jermel Charlo fight. And a lot of people still bring that up to this day. I don't bring it up because I'm like, well, you can't justify Jermel walking away from him for $7 million with the Jermel stuff. You know, Jermel is one thing, Jermel is another. And ultimately, the money that was in the pot for Jermel is a lot more than the money that was in the pot for Jermel. It's inexcusable walking away from that fight, but that's what he did. So, yeah, man. And I would love to see a Charlo versus Andrade unification fight, but I know that that's not going to happen. I know that's not going to happen. You can't pay Jermel enough money to fight that dude, bro. You can't. $7 million? The whole thing about marquee value, right, and resume, it gets thrown out the window once they tell you, we'll pay you $7 million to fight him. You don't need to worry about his resume after that. Like, what are you worried about his resume for? He's got offering you $7 million to fight that guy. You don't need to worry about his resume. He could still fight Liam. I mean, he looks like he's going to fight Billy Joe Saunders. I don't know. You know, nothing in boxing is written in stone. There's always room for change. But it does look like he's planning on fighting Billy Joe Saunders. Billy Joe is a better scalp than Liam Williams. If he ends up fighting Liam, I'll take that too because I think that'll be a very entertaining fight. I'm cool with either. If he fights Billy next, I'm cool. If he fights Liam next, I'm cool. I also think that the Liam Williams fight, because of the styles, would be a more entertaining fight than the Billy Joe Saunders fight. Because that Billy Joe Saunders fight, bro, that's going to be a chess match if they make it. That's going to be a chess match from round 1 to round 12. That's going to be a chess match. Liam is going to try to go in there and hurt Demetrius Andrade. That's what he's going to try to do. He's going to try to go in there and rough him up and hurt him. So I think the Williams fight would be a more entertaining fight. I haven't heard much of Hurd. Yeah, I wonder if Jarrett Hurd is going to cross the street because that's been on my mind. Why hasn't he fought? You know, it didn't have to be a high-profile, marquee, big fight for him to get out there and have a fight. The more time these guys spend away from the ring, it's not doing them any favors. Not just in the sense of making money. You have to make money because it's your job, but also from an athlete, for the athlete, it's not good for them to spend that much time not fighting. What do they become when they're not fighting? Hurd versus Munguia would be great. That would be amazing. But I wonder about Hurd's durability based on what happened at 154. I wonder about it because I didn't think Julian Williams was going to smack him around like that. Good morning, Julius. What's your prediction for the upcoming? I'm leaning towards Choco. I am leaning towards Choco. It's 50-50 fight as far as I'm concerned, but I am leaning towards Choco. If you want to know how I've got it, he might lose. My last couple of picks wasn't the best, so I mean he might lose. 50-50 fight, but I am leaning towards Choco, and my rationale is what people are high on when it comes to Gallo right now is how he looked against Sorun Visai, and we know what Sor did to Choco. But the thing about the Sorun Visai fight, the last one, the thing about that fight was Sor costed himself that fight. Sor decided to be a switch hitter in that fight. When he was fighting Southpaw, he was getting off. He was landing shots. For some reason, he wanted to fight ambidextrous. He was spending a good chunk of the fight leading with his left hand, and we know that Sor is a Southpaw. Why he did that, I don't know, but that's what happened. And I feel that that's really what costed him the fight. Essentially, I feel like the reason that people are high on Estrada right now, and he's a great fighter, don't get me wrong, but I think the reason they're high on him is because of how he looked against Sor. But Sor looked that way because he had to get a bad game plan. That has more to do with Sor as far as I'm concerned. So, didn't Liam Williams lose to Liam? Oh, yeah, a long time ago at 154. 154. I think he's gotten better since then, and this is a better weight for him. We'll see, we'll see. I saw that Eddie Hearn had to address some of the rumors on Twitter because the usual suspects, this idiot named Jay Rosales, idiot, bro. The dude was trying to say that, they didn't sign a contract, they didn't sign up. Like, bro, shut the fuck up, man. Don't you just go suck? I ain't even going to say that because then I can't monetize my video. I ain't even going to say that. All right, what's good, Hustle? 115 is super rich in activity. Talent is nice. Would you see? Let me see. Hold on. I appreciate that, Tone. Liam Williams, middleweight, different animal. Yeah, I agree. It's a better weight for him. Middleweight is a better weight for Liam. I wonder what's going to happen with Chris Eubank Jr. I did a couple of videos about him and how, he's with Sarland now. And it's not that being with Sarland limits your options. It's more like being with Sarland doesn't change the situation. A Golovkin fight is possible, but Golovkin has to want it. A Golovkin fight is possible, though. It's just that he's in the driver's seat. He has to want it. And if I'm being honest, he probably makes more money with Murata than he would with Eubank Jr. And that's a given. That's a huge fight in Asia. He makes way more money with Murata than he would with Eubank. What does Eubank have that anybody wants? You can rule out that Charlo fight. If Chris wanted a Charlo fight, then he would have stayed put. So Charlo, he ain't like that Brook fight. We already see that Brook accepted the terms, or Brook is receptive to fighting Amir Khan. So that Brook proposition, that's out the window. I don't really know who Chris is going to fight. I don't really know. Liam Williams versus Chris Eubank Jr., that's not a bad fight. I'd go for that. Shelly Finkel and Deontay Wilder. I heard about that, but people are telling me that Shelly responded, that they didn't split. That's what they're telling me. I'd like Eubank versus Murata. That's a great fight. Those are two action fighters. The question is Chris willing to go to Japan? Because you damn sure ain't going to get Murata to come to you. Do we know? Bruh, the zone better not waste no money on no Adrien Broner, bruh. I will cancel nothing. No, I won't do that, but Joe Joyce trainer saying that Eubank and Billy both sabotaged their careers. Eubank more than Billy. Eubank more than Billy. Billy's resume actually isn't bad. I mean, it's not. You got Gary Spike O'Sullivan, unbeaten Gary Spike O'Sullivan, which is why I qualify it that he wasn't a journeyman when Billy fought him. He was unbeaten. John Ryder, also on Billy's resume. Chris Eubank Jr., Andy Lee, David Lemieux. You know, it's not a. I've seen worse resumes. That's all I'm saying. I'm not writing home about it, but I've seen worse resumes. Let me see. Let me get my phone. Get my phone. Wait. Oh shit, there it is. All right. And I got a video coming up right after this, so let's see what Rob. Yo, why is Rob beefing with everybody, man? I just spoke to Shelly Finkel, who denied he and Deontay Wilder have split. Rumors are totally incorrect. If anything, we are closer than ever. I just bought Wilder a box of chocolates. All right, Shelly. Yo, why is Rob Tabbett beefing with everybody, man? He was beefing with Michelle, Joy Phelps, and I seen him, I think it was last weekend, he was beefing with Spencer Furion and Tunde Ayahi. He said that they made fun of him or something. Like what is he beefing with everybody for, man? Chill out, Rob. Don't burn no bridges. Burn no bridges, son. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, it's a lot of stuff going on, and it's a lot of people fighting with each other on Twitter. There's a lot of Twitter beef out there, but ultimately, would Deontay Wilder have been better off splitting from Shelly Finkel? I think so. Look at the position that they have put you in. You know, Berlanga versus Rosado Chavez Jr. What do you think? I actually want to see that Rosado fight. I like that fight, but especially given how Gabe looked in his last fight, I do like that fight. Chavez Jr. makes sense financially. I don't think Berlanga learns anything from fighting Chavez Jr. because Chavez isn't dedicated, bro. He just got beat by what's his face, Cansares. You know, the guy who beat Canelo in the amateurs. That's another guy. I'm like, yo, every time I see this guy talking about Canelo, I get irritated, bro. Like, bro, that was the amateurs. How old was Canelo when y'all fought? You still living off of that? What have you done since then? Did you win a medal? Did you go bronze? Did you go silver? Did you go gold? Did you win a title? Because you living off of an amateur fight with a very young ass Canelo Alvarez. Come on, man. Come on now. Arbitration for money, not a trilogy. The funny thing is somebody sent me a clip on Twitter. Somebody sent me a clip. And Barbershop Conversations, he said he got in contact with both the people at Top Rank and the people at the PBC. And basically, in so many words, they said that all of that is fake. That, he got 32 million or whatever. Nah, he ain't get that. And I mean, bro, like, I don't need confirmation for something like that. Ain't nobody right now going to give you no $32 million, bro. No, that's not rocking. Nobody's going to give you that. You bugging. Who the hell you think got $32 million to just give away Wilder? Bro, it'll cost you less to fight. It would cost you less to fight in court than to give away $32 million. You crazy. Like these, that's how you, but see, this is what I'm saying. This is how you know that certain cats, they don't really know nothing about no money, man. Like, I ain't trying to say I'm a millionaire. I'm not a millionaire. But certain things are common sense when you're accustomed to handling large sums of money. That, bro, why would you think somebody's just going to give him $32 million? Are you insane? You think right now somebody like, all right, well, here you go, Wilder. Here's $32 million. Here, go away. Like, you, come on, man. But they probably gave him 32 million dickheads. Like, huh? They probably gave him 32 million dickheads. Like, you know what? I'll go in this bathroom. I'll take these clippers. Here you go. Eat that. $32 million, man. This cast is wild, man. They'll say anything at this point. They'll say anything at this point, like, because they have to save face for everything that they said. They have to try and save face for everything that they have said from February till now. None of it has come to, like, y'all said he had a medical report and he went to a doctor and he got a dent in his brain. And I'm gonna ask again, if the dude has a dent in his brain, did he get brain surgery? Because I don't think the commission will clear you to fight if you had brain surgery. Did they put a plate on the side of his head for the smash, for the dent that Fury put there? It's like, you don't gotta be Columbo to figure any of this out. Like, this is all common sense stuff, bro. But yeah, nothing they've said would happen did happen. They cater to a demographic, I hate to say it, but they cater to a demographic that is not intelligent enough to put two and two together. They're like, yo, dog, you can't tell me that the dude skull got smashed in and he's trying to have a third fight. How is he going to have a third fight if his skull got smashed in? How? What commission would clear him? Like, who? And these are all common sense. This is common sense stuff. Wilder versus, I got a video coming up about that, cat. That's why I'm not going to talk about that. I actually just finished the video and I'm going to wait to upload it until after I get off of this live. So I'm not going to talk about that. But it's common sense stuff. If you're saying that this dude hit me with an object so hard that the side of my head got smashed in, then my career is over. Your career is over then. You can't fight with a smashed skull. That's what I'm saying, Iceman. Too many excuses regarding Wilder and his dim-witted fans. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And that's just the icing on the cake. The other stuff about arbitration, once I saw that Tyson Fury was trying to fight somebody else late last year, that he started talking crazy like, yo, look, man, I'm going to fight with or without Wilder. That's when I knew they're like, oh, snap, it probably expired because of the pandemic. And they can't really do nothing. Like, that's when I knew, like, oh, it's a wrap. He trying to bail on you. It's a wrap. It's over. I wonder, Marcel, is it that they started it or is it that he fed that to them? The whole conspiracy been around for months, right? But has it been around for months because that's what he told them or because they started it? One way or another is stupid. One way or another, like, you can't reconcile none of the stuff they saying. The chopped cheese kid that he's I think he does videos for Dante's Boxing Nation. I think his name is Aki or whatever. Like this kid, man. The kid named in a court of law. The proof is in the put. Like, he talked like Howard Cosell. And somebody like, in the court of law, you have to prove. Like, bro, what? They ain't been to court, you idiot. Like, they ain't been to court. Why didn't take Fury to court? Nobody. Look, arbitration, for those that don't know, arbitration is not a court of law. It's a legal proceeding, but it's not a court of law. It can be legally binding so long as the two parties agree, you know, to whoever the arbitrator is. And if they, you know, because they pick them, they got to agree on all that. So it is a legal proceeding, but it ain't court. Court is something else, bro. In the court of law, the truth is in the proof. The proof is in the pudding. Cuba Gooding Jr. Like, you an idiot, bro. Who told you to be talking about this stuff? Who's an idiot? I hate that shit. Like, yo, dog, you really getting over on people that are too stupid to think for themselves. You really getting over on them. You getting their SSI checks and all of that. That's wild to me. To like, yo, could people really be this stupid to get their information from you? That's wild to me, bro. Like, you don't even know what the difference between mediation, arbitration, and a court proceeding. Mediation, arbitration is not court. So stop talking about court. Fury don't want to go to court because of discovery. He would get exposed, IQ. I'm pretty sure that if Wilder could have taken him to court, he would have. He didn't hesitate to take Povetkin to court, did he? If he could have taken him to court, He would have. As soon as things fizzled out with Povetkin, what did they do? They went to court. And he sued him for the purse that he would have got. It didn't work out in the end. Most people don't know that. It didn't work out in the end. At first, the court found Povetkin guilty. After that, they exonerated him. Wilder would have been in a... Yeah, man. Like, it's just common sense stuff, bro. Shout out to James Jackson. That's what I'm saying. How you going to say that the dude hit me with something so hard that it cracked my skull and left it dented, but I'm trying to fight him for a third time? Bro, how are you going to fight him for a third time? Ain't no doctor going to clear you. Akaka. Yo, Lily Reese says, shout out to Akaka T. I'm like, yo, and you got people that they don't know nothing about nothing. Like, they don't know nothing about nothing. They never did nothing in life. They never been through nothing, because you don't have to go to law school to know this stuff. You don't have to have passed the bar exam. You can have a basic understanding of how all of this stuff works and know that, bro, that's not court. Why you keep talking about court? That's not court. That's them settling amongst themselves. That's what that is. That ain't court. I never heard of it. Yeah, I mean, yo, if I'm being honest, again, I never heard. You could crack a skull. You could fracture a skull. You could smash it in, but dented like a car door? No, I never heard of that. You dented his skull like a car door. Like if I kick your door. All right, bro. Appreciate that, Truth Son. Wilder and his idiot channels have made up such a Himalayan rubbish. It is juvenile smokescreen of such. It really is, though. I mean, it really is. It really is. It's infantile, because you have people that don't understand nothing about nothing, telling lies to other people who know less than them. They don't realize that, like, yo, dog, you would have to be the stupidest. Like, you would have to be. That you don't know the difference between none of this stuff. And even if you don't know nothing about the court, you don't know nothing about mediation, arbitration, you don't know nothing about court proceedings, legalese, you don't know nothing about that. At minimum, what you should know is that if the dude is saying that his skull got smashed in, how was he supposed to have a third fight? If you don't know nothing else, that should be raising a flag. Like, bro, you saying this dude hit you with a metal object and the side of your head got smashed in. You should be retiring then, if that's true. You should be retiring. But in the court of law, when the truth is in the proof, Google stock images. Like, yo, y'all sitting over there with Pixar, playing with pictures, trying to make this man guilty, and all y'all did was make Wilder look stupid. That's all they did. Just like Unrivaled said, just like Mark said. In some ways, they costed him that money, egging him on. In some ways, they costed him that money. Yeah, you could say that, because y'all was encouraging that stupidity. Y'all was encouraging all of that. Why you think this man would even want to do business with you when you slandering him? You slandering him. It's libel. And you think he going to want to do business with you. You think he going to do you a favor. Shout out to Napoli 1482. Because of the PBC BS, I feel bad for Virgil Ortiz in regards to getting the title shot outside of Crawford. And moving up to 154 ain't no different. I'm going to tell you what. Virgil is young enough that he could keep busy with the Blair Cobbses of the world. He's young enough that he could still gain experience. And while he getting that experience, look, the PBC stable of welterweights ain't a bunch of young guys. These is all guys that's in their 30s, bro. Them cats, they're gonna start phasing out real soon. I'm telling you. I'm trying to tell you. The next wave of welterweights is coming. And these cats that's 30-something and want to sit on their hands like Keith Thurman and them cats is going to go somewhere. They're going to go somewhere. I'm telling you. They're going to have to. Ernie Wiles, mediation is to court as two kids who is eye stalking with the principal for fighting to the same two kids going to jail for fighting. Exactly. That's the parallel, that you can have two kids fighting, right? Going to the principal's office and talking about it is not going to jail for it. And mediation arbitration is not a court proceeding. That's not a court proceeding. But you got this cat with the joint on in the court of law. So that's the slang. And you look at the headlines for the video. Wilder won the mediation arbitration. Wilder forces Tyson Fury to give him a third fight. And it's like, yo, you telling me that the people that listen to you are so stupid that they can't see that everything you said was wrong. Literally everything you said was wrong. You was wrong about everything, bro. None of that shit you said happened was going to happen. None of it. I'm like, yo, it's something about this generation that I'm not going to understand. I'm old. It's something about this generation I'm not going to understand. There's certain things that I'm not going to get it. Like, bro, what I look like listening to legalese from you, bro? What you know about legalese, bro? You know the court system? You've been through it? Or did you pass the bar exam? It got to be one or the other for me to be listening to you. I believe it is, Roman. I believe it is. And not for nothing, I'm not going to say what I was told. I'm going to wait and see if what I was told happens, and then I'm going to confirm it to you, because I came across some very interesting information yesterday, and we'll see. We'll see. I've suspected as much for a while because the numbers just aren't encouraging. PBC's numbers on Fox are not encouraging, and PBC's numbers on Showtime are not encouraging. None of those numbers to the higher ups of those networks, they're not looking at that and saying like, yo, yeah, man, we getting money. Nah, they looking at that like, yo, why we spending money on this? Why are we spending money on this? How much did it cost us for that to get put together, and it didn't even get no ratings? Word, right? The Fananians, they know all about some legalese, don't they? I wanted to see Hooker pro grade too, but look, if you notice, Virgil Ortiz ain't missing a beat, bro. He not even though he not on PBC Island and he don't have access to certain fighters, he's still not missing a beat. He got a decent fight with Maurice Hooker. That's a decent fight. That's a decent fight. That's a good fight. I'm gonna have all the way from France at the end of this week. I'm gonna have an unbeaten prospect, Segolin. I don't know how to say her last name. I'm not French. I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna have her on here on Friday. That's gonna be at 12 p.m. Eastern time, 12 p.m. Montreal time, 6 p.m. France time. I'm gonna have her on here. I'm gonna introduce her to everybody, have her answer a couple of questions, and just talk about herself. I'm gonna have a translator too, all the way from France. I mean, all the way from Canada. You know, we're gonna do it like we normally do it. You know, got a fighter, the translator, and myself, and we're gonna, you know, get exposure for the ladies. You know, get exposure for the unbeaten fighters that's out there, because she's a damn good fighter. I've seen her. That's gonna be Friday afternoon. I'm gonna see if I could get an interview in before that. Also, I'm gonna see. But you know, it's 2021, man. We gotta work. We gotta move, man. We gotta do stuff, man. All right. Top Rank in the Zone doing big things. Yeah, man. Like, come on, man. Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? That whole Keith Thurman stuff, bro, I already did a video on it. Y'all know how I feel about it. To me, he sounds like a frustrated person that does not have opportunities on his side, and he don't. He don't. Nobody, like, bro, what's your options? Sean Porter, who you fought already, you ain't going to get no big payday fighting him again because nobody asking for a rematch. Errol don't want nothing to do with you. Ugas is not known no casual boxing fans. What's your options? You think somebody want to see you fight Danny Garcia for a second time? If you think that people want to see that, go back to what people were saying after the first fight. Nobody liked that fight. I'm telling you, I saw the reaction. A lot of people was complaining. So Thurman is a dude that is painted into a corner. And if you blast and Bob, it's because you frustrated that, yo, it ain't the way y'all say it is. It ain't a lot of money over there. You think they're going to pay you through the nose to fight who, bro? Sean again or Danny again? You got to stop it, man. Yeah, he might have been. He might have been saucy. He might have been saucy. This is Wilder's year. He isn't going. Let me see. He isn't going to duck every heavyweight, just most of them. Like, yo, dog, the cat's out the bag, bro. Michaela told me on Twitter that once she gets some fight news, hold on, my son trying to be in the camera. I don't know why. She told me that once she gets some fight news, a fight date, she gonna give me that interview. That's what she said on Twitter. So let's see. Let's hope she is a woman of her word. Who hates Teofimo, dog? Was we even talking about Teofimo? Rumors today, Wilder in talks. Yeah, we're gonna get to that, bro. We're gonna get to that. When was the last time PBC put a title fight on regular? I mean, no. They're about to. Angelo Leo is fighting Stephen Fulton. Angelo Leo is the WBO champion, so that's a title fight on regular TV, or I should have said, it's not a pay-per-view. So, and that's tonight. Oh, for now I hate Teofimo. I mean, of course he does. Look at what Teofimo said to Wilder, man. Of course he gonna be mad at him. Teofimo said what all of us been saying, like, yo, man, you bugging out with all that shit, man. Stop acting like that. You see, any way Wilder gets a third fight with Fury, there's only one way, and it's not a guarantee. There's only one way. Things have to happen. It's like Endgame, that there's only one scenario. Fury has to win against Joshua. He has to win both fights. That's the first thing. He has to be in possession of all the world titles. Wilder has to go the IBF route, right? He has to go that route because the other routes could take longer. The IBF route, you know they're going to order the fight. And after that, Fury has to want to keep the belts. He has to want to keep them. And that's a very unlikely scenario. If he was to beat Anthony Joshua 2 times, bro, that dude would probably retire after that, all the money that he made. It's very hard to see a way for Wilder to get that third fight. It's very hard. Keith is angry with Thurman Tone because, believe it or not, a lot of people not going to agree with me. Bob is his best bet to get at a lot of money. Errol don't want nothing to do with him. If Errol don't want nothing to do with you right now, until he decides to change his mind and give you the time of day, who else you going to fight that's going to get you money? Who? Nobody want to see you fight Sean again. Nobody want to see you fight Danny again. Ugas is a good fight, but Ugas is not a big name. He's a solid fighter. He's a top 10 fighter. But you don't make millions of dollars, millions upon millions of dollars fighting Ugas. Yeah, Fury said that too. Cat is right. Fury said that. He's not fighting that dude ever again. That's what he said. So, I mean, it is what it is, man. I mean, I already said it. I didn't want to see a third fight. I ain't going to lose no sleep over that joint. I didn't want to see a third fight. Like, for what, bro? Like, look, if in my eyes, he beat you the first time. What I need to see a third fight for? Errol wants Canelo or will ask for Canelo money to fight. Of course, bro. You know that. You know that country. You know that. They don't base it on their marquee value. They base it on X what, like, all right, bro. Keep asking for that kind of money in this climate. Burby Rhythms was good. What do you think about Hatman's content about AJ recently? I haven't seen it, Apollo. Fill me in. I haven't seen it, so I don't know. Fill me in. Who's Spence gonna fight if not Crawford or Thurman? Ugas. If Manny retires this year and vacates the WBA title, Ugas will become full champion. If he becomes full champion, Spence will fight him in a unification match. He could. So to answer your question, Ugas. I'm ready for Eddie to drop some U.S. news. Man, listen, man, I'm ready to go work for Matchroom. Eddie Hearn, you need to call me, bro. All right, call me. You want access to the American infrastructure? Call me. I know the way these idiots' minds work, man. We can make a lot of money. Make a lot of money. right? John was good.
Hey, Julius.
Trying to get Eddie Hearn to give me a goddamn job, man. He need to call me. He should have called me when he got over here the first time. Like, you want access to the Americans? I'm going to help you understand the stupidity of the American civilian. I will help you, and we will make lots and lots of money. Call me, Eddie. I know you're listening.
Now I understand what all the Hughie Fury fanboyism was about last time I was speaking to you. Look, we all have to do things to get a job, Julius. I'm not holding it against you.
No, Hughie looked. Look. Right? I don't think Hughie's bad. I don't think he's world level. I don't think he's world. Not yet. He hasn't shown me that, but he's not bad. I put Hughie in my Anthony Fowler folder. That I like watching you fight. I like certain things that you do depending on the situation. Depending on the situation, I like certain stuff you do. And he looked all right. You have to admit that. He looked all right. You gonna say he didn't look all right?
Your leg. I'm pulling your leg, Julius. I enjoyed what made me come into life was I was enjoying your enthusiasm for Hughie. I'm all about positivity, Julius. I'm all about it. You know, I like it. But that is, he showed against Povetkin. He showed a bit of something, and then he faded badly from like about halfway. And I think in that fight, we at least saw Fury try to win, which has been my biggest criticism. That Hughie just kind of like a bit of a damp squib. But it was better.
I mean,
the backhand was horribly slow.
All things considered, like, we have to take into account. We have to take into account that no matter how bad Hughie has looked in previous instances, right? He finished that Povetkin fight on his feet, right? Dillian, who is a much higher rated guy.
But there's no question Hughie's got a much better defense than Dillian.
Yeah,
and also, Dillian is susceptible to uppercuts. He gets caught square on the inside. But every time Dillian's gone down, it's been an uppercut. It's been an uppercut every single time.
I'm just saying that it stands for something. That, look, Hughie is not great, right? I think we agree there. But he can't be all that bad if he can go the distance with Povetkin and finish the fight on his feet, where a much higher rated guy with a better resume and better wins ends up flat on his back pocket. It counts for something. That's what I'm saying.
Hughie has some good attributes. He's got a good chin, and he's a very good defensive fighter.
And he can move.
Unfortunately, when you're lacking, he can do all three of those things. He can take a punch, he's good defensively, and he can move. Unfortunately, when you're not very offensively minded or very well equipped offensively, it doesn't make for entertaining fights.
That's his drawback. If you ask me, the most well-rounded fighter that I've seen trained by a Fury is Savannah Marsh. I loved it. Savannah Marsh, God damn it.
Yeah, but that's because she learned how to punch before she went there.
That's true.
Like Peter, this is. Have you seen Dwyer? Have you seen Dwyer's post about how uncoordinated Anthony Joshua is and how Tyson Fury is tremendously coordinated?
Look, I love his channel. I've been subscribed to it for years, but he just doesn't like AJ.
I know.
You know, and I'm not gonna.
Runs deep. I don't know what it's about.
I just don't know what the nature of it is. Like, bro, come on now. He picked Pulev to stop AJ, didn't he? Wasn't that?
He picks everybody too. He picks everybody. Yeah. Dwyer,
I know.
Talk for about an hour and a half about how someone's going to stop AJ. He'll break it down in such great detail. And I don't know what he's got against him. I don't know what he's done to him.
Bruh, I watched, Klitschko, when he made the prediction for Klitschko, I thought it was negligible because, all right, maybe you think Klitschko's going to stop him because Anthony is green. I could see that. You know, I understand where you're coming from. I don't agree with you because I picked AJ to win the fight by knockout. But I heard his video and I'm like, all right. And then every video thereafter, I know it's like, bro, you always pick. You pick Charles Martin before the Klitschko fight. You picked Charles Martin to beat him, bro. You picked Joseph Parker to beat him. Like, you always pick somebody to beat him. Like,
you have to have some real hate of AJ to pick Charles Martin ahead of that fight. And I can think of two people that did it.
Look,
and those two people got grudge.
Believe it or not, more people picked Charles Martin than they care to acknowledge, because I was in the Facebook around that time. I wasn't on YouTube much. I wasn't. I was on Facebook more, in the Facebook boxing groups. And there were quite a few people picking Charles Martin. There were. And they ain't going to say it now. They ain't going to say it now. But yeah, they were picking Charles on the stream. Oh, he's American. Anthony Joshua's another Frank Bruno. I'm like, all right, bro. All right. All right.
And in the UK, you get the pundits that are afraid to say anything good about AJ because they think it makes them look stupid or makes them look like casual. It's like, this guy has got faults. AJ's got limitations, but he's got a fantastic work ethic and he knows how to win.
It's not even that. Look, you look at today's heavyweight division. I'm not gonna bring up the blue chip prospects because that's self-explanatory, right? Your Tony Yokas, your Joe Joyces, all of that stuff. I'm taking them out of the equation. Anthony Joshua is a complete fighter. He's not perfect, but what fighter is? That's what I want to know. Who's perfect out there? Wilder has power, but he can't box. Fury, yeah, he's all right, but he can be caught. He has been caught. He got caught by Nevin Pajic. He got caught by Steve Cunningham. He got a gift against McDermott. He got put through the ringer against Otto Wallin. He's not perfect, all right? That's all I'm saying. He's a great fighter, but he's not perfect.
Fury's got lots of flaws. He's got a huge number of flaws. Fury, his punch technique is horrible.
It is.
It's horrible. And I'm not convinced about his power just because he beat Wilder. No. The only heavyweight champion that I can think of who's been as protected as Wilder is Floyd Patterson.
Yeah, but at least Floyd had a reason. Floyd wasn't a real heavyweight. He was a little guy who moved up. So I get it.
I'm a big Sonny fan. So, like,
I'm just saying that at least Floyd had a reason. Wilder's 6'7", didn't fight for a title for 7 years into his pro career. Like, bro, all right, dog. They might as well just wrap you in bubble wrap in case you in concrete. They don't want to let you near nobody. Like, let you near nobody.
But, like, the protection was like outrageous. Like, they only let him fight Fury because they thought Fury couldn't punch.
Exactly.
I mean,
and
I'm adamant.
Everybody wants to act like they had this high opinion of Tyson Fury. Like, bro, y'all knew damn good and well why he picked him. The man hasn't fought an elite level fighter in 3 years. He's coming off a cocaine addiction, obesity, and a mental breakdown. So stop it. Stop it. The Cephas referred.
I think there's more to it.
What happened?
I think there's more to it than that as well, because if you look at the cards in the first fight, they thought Fury can't knock out Wilder, so we can just job him on the cards anyway. Yeah.
I mean, look. Some of the weirdest.
Like, there's no risk.
Some of the weirdest scorecards have been over there. We got Wilder versus Fury, right? The first fight. But look at Rolly Romero.
Rolly against your countryman.
Look at that.
Like,
the recent one, the Emmanuel Rodriguez fight. That's another one. I haven't
watched the fight properly, Julius, to really know.
A lot of people, I didn't see the fight. A lot of people told me about the fight. And they was like, yo, that was a robbery on the scale of Rolly Romero and Martinez. They said that was a robbery on the scale of that. If you ask me, Castillo Clayton beat Sergey Lipinets, but what do? They score it a draw. Like, he beat that dude, bro. I know what a Sergey Lipinets fight looks like, and it don't look like that. This man is confused. He's bewildered. He don't know what to do. Custio Clayton, as far as I'm concerned, he won that fight, but what do they do? Oh, it's a draw. All right. I see what y'all doing. Nobody loses. So
but the Rolly one, I mean, the Rolly one wasn't even close though.
No.
The Rolly fight.
No. It was a robbery.
It wasn't even like it's like that's robbery. Like a close fight, going to a draw. Okay, you've got the hometown nod, but it's not really a robbery. Like the Callum Smith versus Ryder. That's not a robbery. I scored it for Ryder. I thought Ryder won, but I thought it won by a round. I had one round.
I think that,
me and Mark both had Ryder ahead by a round.
Smith Ryder was not a robbery. Smith Ryder was not a robbery. I'm going to say what I said before. Smith gave him a hard night. I mean, Ryder, John gave him a hard night, but I didn't see John win. I just saw you give him a hard fight.
I did. I saw him win, but by one round. So if it's one round, somebody else can see something else. That's a close fight. A close fight can go either way.
It's not. No. To me, it's the same thing as Golovkin Jacobs, and this still gets brought up to this day. There's people that say that Jacobs did enough to win. No, he didn't, dog. It's just that you're not used to seeing Golovkin struggle. That was one of the few times in recent memory that he had struggled. But making him struggle is not enough to cost him the fight. I think I had it 8-4, Golovkin. I think I had it 8-4.
I scored the Jacobs fight for Golovkin because it was even apart from the knockdown. Like the only thing that put it over the line for me for Triple G was the knockdown. That's it. Like it was like razor close apart from that, but there was a difference. Like he did do something to justify winning the fight.
I don't know.
Whereas the Ryder fight, I watched it with Mark. We watched it live. We scored it live. Mark had it one round for Ryder. I had it one round for Ryder. But we had different rounds for Ryder. Like so, it's like this is just a close fight. If it's a draw or you give it one round either way, I don't think it really matters. Like I can see all three results. So that's just a close fight. If it's close like that, I don't really have a problem if someone sees it differently to me. But that Rolly fight, there's nothing. What rounds did Rolly actually win? That's what I want to know.
You know what that was, bro. You know what that was, bro. And the stupid thing is,
I know what it was.
You give it to Rolly for what reason, bro? Like for what you think this kid's gonna go all the way? I could tell you he ain't. Like I'm being honest. You robbing people.
He's not going anywhere.
That's what I mean. Like, bro, where's he going, bro? They'll eat him alive at 140. They will eat him alive. Where's he going? He's at 35 now, not fighting nobody.
Like at 140, they're big and they can box, they can fight, they can do a lot of things.
John, I'm asking you a question. Who does he beat at 140? Who does he beat? Like, I wouldn't put him in there with Pablo Canelo. I wouldn't put him in there with Pablo. Like, bro, you're not beating Pablo. If you can't beat Pablo.
It's not going to be journeyman level people that can't hurt him that they can rub on the cards. It's like there isn't really any point to Rolly.
That's because PBC is not boxing, bro.
Exactly. You're taking the words out of my mouth. It's like I went on Beats' live the day afterwards. The day after that Rolly fight, and we were just talking about how it's turning into WWE. These are narratives. That's not boxing,
bro. What that is a series. Because I remember I looked up something, right, and they had it classified as a series, and I'm like, I never seen. Like, if I look up Top Rank, it don't say Top Rank series. It's Top Rank boxing.
You brought this up the other day on the videos, didn't you?
Yeah, I'm like, series, like, what do you mean series? Like a TV show? Hey, man, I don't put it past I don't put it. I don't put money.
It's like fantasy. Fantasy is like an alternate universe, isn't it? And that's basically what they've created. It's like it's just, and I think it just always comes back to the bottom line. Al Haymon is a music promoter. He's not.
Yes.
He's not a boxing promoter. He doesn't understand boxing.
He doesn't understand boxing.
And that's the issue. And that's why when you look at everything that he does and you compare it to the music industry, the analogies always work.
Yeah.
Was it a guy called Angel who was talking about the 365 record deal contracts that people get being similar to the contracts that Al Haymon gives his boxers? It's like he owns you. You don't really have any money, but he sorts your house out. You get a car, you get clothes, you get all this stuff.
He's like a pimp, bro. He's like a pimp, bro. Like he'll pay your bills. He'll pay your bills and make sure you have somewhere to sleep. He'll make sure you can eat.
That's how the music industry works, though, isn't it? It's like the record label owns all the royalties, and you feel like you're living this superstar life, but you don't own anything and you're not making any money.
Listen, bro. In the 90s,
like how it is.
In the 90s, you had guys, right, that were taking their budget that's supposed to go towards their studio time and their recording sessions and all of that. They're taking that and they're buying all this garbage with it, right? And it creates this illusion of equity and finance. When, bro, that's an advance that you have, bro. That's an advance that goes to you. You don't have that money, bro. That's a part of a budget. But because you're a bunch of idiots, you don't know that. Like, that ain't for you to be. What it is for me, Julius, is it's older people taking advantage of young people that don't understand money. Yeah.
And don't understand contracts and stuff like that. And the music industry has changed drastically because of social media. But boxing's kind of just gone the other way.
Yeah, but I'll say this much, right? A lot of people look at it as like, oh, the record labels take advantage of the artists and this and that. And I'm like, nah, I don't look at it that. That's life, bro. If you're stupid and you put yourself in a position to be taken advantage of, right? Whether it's boxing, music, women, whatever.
But Julius, right? When you were like 18 to 21, were you equipped to deal with a sophisticated businessman who was offering you what you really wanted?
Easy answer. I'm gonna give you an easy answer, right? When I was young, one of the old heads was like, yo, you should come work for us. We'll give you 20 out of every 100. I said no. That was when I was very young. Hold on, my son over here trying to be. What you want, man? Go ask Sophie to get it. You see I'm doing something. Yo, Sophie, give him some raisin bread. When I was young, old head told me, yo, I'll give you, what's that? Call her, go over there and tell her. When I was young, an old head told me, yo, we'll give you 20 out of every 100. I said no because I knew I could make more money on my own. And that was before I was 18, man. Like, you either know money or you don't. You know, you either gonna be a dojo or you not. You got a lot of guys that they got like a mentality where they're just happy to be here. They don't even think about what's going on. Like, you're just happy to be. Not me, bro.
Bro, Julius.
I think there's three.
Sorry, go ahead, man.
I was just going to say there's three categories. There's the people that always have good business head. There's the people who are always naive. And then there's the people that learn from their mistakes. And it sounds like you're in the first category, Julius.
Yeah, because you got to think about it, bro. You know. You got to think about it, bro. If you got it, when I was young, right, I was already getting my own money, right? I'm real good with people. Well, I was when I was very young. Yada yada yada. Long story short, 20 out of every 100. So hold on, how many hundreds do I gotta bring you before I could get a hundo? That don't sound right. Nah, you bugging it. I'm good. I get my own. I'm good. Thank you. Appreciate it. I ain't dumb. And you got a lot of guys, like I said, when you perpetuate yourself, right, as a you a hustler. You know how to get money. You in big business. You getting bread. You don't know what the fuck you doing, man. Well, most of the young guys that came up, you don't know what the fuck you doing, man. period. So when we talk about the music industry, right? If we talk about the music industry, it's the same thing as when we talk about anything else. If you put yourself in a position to be taken advantage of, you will be. It doesn't matter what you're doing.
All right, Julius. Everybody here, I know we got different tastes in music. Everybody here's heard the name Van Halen, right?
Of course.
All right. Rest in peace, Eddie. Now, after their first, they had, their second record, right? They had 2 platinum records, had toured the world twice over, 360-day fucking tours, right? They get back to Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers basically tells them, you owe us $1 million and another record. Think about that. Think about that. They have 2 back-to-back platinum records, back-to-back 360 fucking day world tours going anywhere and everywhere. Every house is sold out, right? They come back. They're told, oh, yeah, you owe us $1 million. Alex Van Halen, the drummer's like, so what you're telling us is if we'd had 6 platinum records and done 6 world tours, we'd owe you $3 million?
Pretty much.
Pretty much. See this? Because they were young kids from California, right? Like you're saying, they were, they didn't have the business acumen. They were just guys that played backyard parties and all this shit and wanted to be rock stars. And Warner Brothers came up to them one day and were like, hey, here's an advance. We're going to put you on tour with Journey, I believe it was. Steve Perry and Journey. All right. That opening up for Journey. That's a great segue, right? So from their perspective, they're like, oh, man, we're touring the world. We've got an expense account. We got a tour manager. Only to find out that, no, now we own you.
Yeah, but see, this is the thing, Doc. This is the thing about that, Doc. It's not, how could I put it? It's like, yes, to a degree you're being taken advantage of. What's not being said is this is normal. This is life.
Yes, that was the standard operating procedure, especially in those days. Exactly. That was the way that shit went.
For example, for every fighter that got taken advantage of, you had a Sugar Ray Robinson and a Sugar Ray Leonard and an Oscar De La Hoya and a Floyd Mayweather. It's and what it basically means is that there's a lot of people that are going to say,
it's going to be more of a Julius. It's more of a 5-to-1 ratio. It's got
there's always going to be a lot of people that say that they know what they're doing to a degree. There's always going to be a lot of people like that. But the reality of it is, no, 90% of the time, most people don't know what the hell they're doing. They don't. And that's why it's normal.
The guys you named, the guys you named they're the exceptions that prove the rule.
Yeah. Now, Mark, what do you think about it?
Right, Mark, yeah, that came out of nowhere. Y'all were talking about so many different things to do with money, and then I get whoa. I don't know where we are anymore. Are we talking about Van Halen being pimped out by the music industry, or are we talking about boxers being pimped out by the promoters?
We're talking about how PBC deals basically resemble music deals because Al Haymon is a music guy, and we've talked about.
I don't know if anybody said the word, but I'm not afraid to use it. Al Haymon essentially has slave-like contracts, dude. That's not even being funny or anything. It's true.
That's what they are.
He owns you. He owns you. Anybody out there who thinks you're a free man under Al Haymon, no, you ain't. He has first and final say on any move you make.
Yep.
Chris
no
Bomo
free man turns down in excess, but
well, look at. I mean, we talk about
no free man turns down in excess of $100 million. $100 million. He turned it down. Free people don't do that.
Kovnowski to me is the more glaring example. At least Wilder had the illusion that if I hold out a little longer, since the offers have gotten progressively bigger, right, which is true, from the 12.5 to the 100 million, every offer in between was the bigger offer than the last. So you could say, well, what Wilder's thinking and what his people are thinking, well, these offers keep getting bigger, let's hold out a little longer. With Kovnowski, it was just outright stupid, bro. You're getting a chance to be fast-tracked to a world title opportunity. Make a multi-million-dollar payday so you could turn it down and turn around and lose the Robert Hellenius. for a couple $100,000.
See, Julius, things like this, because we talked about the Kawanaki thing, Wilder turning down the $100 million, and we could probably come up with a whole bunch of others if we thought about it. This is why I'm convinced that the contract Beats broke down on his hangout is accurate. Because there's no way. I refuse to believe. I mean, look, I understand about fighters. I understand their background. Most of them are bad, poorly educated, that kind of thing. They're not turning down $100 million deals. In my opinion, Al is the guy that said, nah. For whatever his reason might be, whatever his reasoning might be.
It actually goes to what you were saying about Van Halen. Al's buying them houses and he's giving them advances. These guys are fat and happy fighters, not fighting. Julius always calls them fat and happy fighters because Al sorts them out without having to fight.
Yes, and there's a reason for that.
But
you do know it, but I didn't catch your name, my friend. I don't think we've talked.
Yeah. We equaled the scores on Mark's quiz.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. I remember you now. All right, brother. So the thing you have to understand, the key to putting together the puzzle of Al Haymon and why the fuck does he do shit the way he does is his brother Bobby. Yeah. Mark and Julius have heard me tell this story a million times. As I like to always say, this isn't condoning. This isn't. Have you heard that? You've heard about that? His brother.
Yeah. No, what I actually think it is. It's got more to do with what you were saying about Warner Brothers owning Van Halen. I think that's why he does what he does.
Oh no! I think that's how he does. But I do think watching what happened to his brother is part of his motivation. And again, I'm not condemning or justifying.
I don't see. That's a legitimate argument to make, right? But all I see is a guy who makes money.
Hey, real quick, Julie, real quick. I'm not saying that makes it okay. You know what I mean? That a reason is not the same thing as an excuse. If you get me, Mark. Right. So, in other words, all I'm saying is I think it's a legitimate reason. It doesn't excuse the behavior.
No. All I'm saying is that's if you're under the impression that what he's doing. Hold on. That's if you're under the impression that he's doing it from like a misguided sense of honor or something like that. That's not what I see. What I see is a guy who generally makes his money, his profits, off of getting networks to invest in his product. And what he promises those networks is the cow. You get the milk without having to buy the cow. Those networks don't give those fighters exclusivity deals. You'll notice that. Crawford has an exclusivity deal with ESPN that gets him more money, perhaps, than his fights are worth. Because look at what he got for Kell Brook. He got $4 million for Kell Brook. Should he have gotten $4 million for Kell Brook? Probably not. But he did. He got over that for Amir Khan. You got like $5 million for Amir. Should he have gotten that? Well, probably not, because you didn't bring it back. So you have all these other. Hold on.
Go on.
You have all these other the other outfits in boxing. They work the way boxing outfits should. That if the network wants exclusivity, you have to pay for it. With AJ, Sky Sports wants to be in the Anthony Joshua business for the foreseeable future. What do? At the end of your deal, you get $100 million. All right, because we're investing in you. Whereas with PBC, you got guys, they won't cross the street. They can't unless they get the green light. But Fox is not giving you an exclusive deal. Why are you loyal to them? They ain't tell you after 10 fights you're going to get $100 million. They ain't tell you nothing like that. But you acting like it because Al Haymon is giving them the milk without them having to buy the cow. Like, don't worry about my guys. They ain't going to go nowhere. I'll make sure they don't go nowhere because I got the contracts. I can approve or disapprove of what they do. So they won't go nowhere.
Exactly. Julius, those guys, real quick, those guys cannot go down to the mall and sign autographs unless Al says okay. Yeah. You have to go to Al, hey, can I go do this? Oh, they'll probably say, but you get my point, though. Okay,
That's why I don't believe the narrative that's been put out there about Al's brother. So
yeah, okay. Let me hang on. Let me clarify my position. I'm saying that him watching what happened to his brother is a factor in how he operates. I'm not saying it's the whole thing.
So I think that Al is very smart at manipulating media narratives.
Yes.
And I think what Al is doing to his own fighters is tremendously cynical, and he's ruining their careers. And he's actually using that to make himself look like he's doing good for boxing, when actually he's not. And I think Al is tremendously cynical, and he's actually using that narrative to promote himself as one of the good guys in boxing, and as a marketing tool to sign new talent. So Al's attracting people to his brand because he's telling them he's going to look after them because of what happened to his brother.
Yes, this is how he gets them in. Exactly.
But what he's actually doing to these guys is what the record industry is used to do to up-and-coming music talent. So he owns them, and that's not what you would do if you cared about these fighters. He doesn't care about their legacy. He doesn't care about them turning down huge sums of money. Al cares about his business optimizing their profits. So that's why I don't believe that narrative.
No. Again, I don't disagree with anything you just said. I'm not saying it's the one and only reason he does what he does. All I'm saying is it's a factor that affects the way he perceives the sport. I mean, I'm sorry, I refuse to believe, I don't care how cold-blooded a person is, if you see what he saw happen to his brother, it's gonna shape how you look at things and operate. I'm not saying. Hang on. Is he out to make money? Is he out to get what the sweet guys try like everybody else? Of course he is. I'm just saying it's a factor.
Maybe that's why he's out to destroy boxing from within.
It's funny you say that. Al Haymon, really, if you think about it, in the context of what happened to his brother, Al Haymon should be in the business of trying to get boxing banned.
No, I mean, look. To your point about Al Haymon being more cynical than people realize, look at how perverse his fighters view the sport. They don't care about fighting. They don't care about being champions. None of them. Think about it. Listen to them. Yordenis Ugas, right? He said that we don't fight for legacy. He said don't believe fighters when they say they fight for legacy. They're just fighting for money. That's not true, bro. That's anybody that does something that they do that they're proud of. Of course,
but that ties back into his brother, Julius. That goes right back to his brother. He's like, fuck trying to fight Sugar Ray Leonard. I want to make sure. I'm not saying he's a saint or anything like that. Again, we're just talking about a small factor, right? He can make the argument of, fuck this legacy shit. Let's just make sure that you got, as much of your faculties and a bit of money, and you don't end up like my brother here. All of that other stuff is immaterial.
Look, let's put it another way. Hold on.
Yeah, I think you got me.
A lot of people say, and I've heard this said before, that the reason that Al Haymon's fighters fight on such a sparse schedule is because of, that he's worried about their welfare and their well-being. That's bullshit. That's because of a lack of fight dates. That's why. That's why Hardcore better be. When Yvonne Michelle was in bed with the PBC, right? When he was in bed with them, that's when Artur had beef with Yvonne Michelle. And what was his beef with Yvonne Michelle? I thought I was going to get to fight 3 times a year. That was the deal. I haven't gotten a fight 3 times. I think it was either 3 or 5. He wanted to fight a lot. And that was his beef with Yvonne Michelle. At that time, Yvonne Michelle was in bed with who? The PBC. Hugo Centeno. He did an interview with Fino Boxing. And he said in plain English, the reason he got away from over there is because he wasn't getting to fight as often as he wanted to. I gather that Chris Eubank Jr., the reason he decided to get away from over there is because since he got over there, he only fought 2 times. Since the World Boxing Super Series, which was like 2-3 years ago, the first season. The dude only fought 2 times. So this whole thing about Al Haymon.
Okay, now hang on real quick.
this whole narrative about Al looking out for his guys, that he don't have them fighting a lot because it's for their health and well-being, that's bullshit. That's because of a lack of fight dates, bro. That's why them guys don't get out there. And the other reason is you're not cool with nobody. Al is not cool. See, like, look, remember after Anthony Yard got knocked out by Sergey Kovalev, he had some weirdo fight over there in Spain. Remember that?
Yep.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
Frank, that's because Frank and Bob, they had
whenever one of Frank's fighters lose, Julius, there's always some shady fight happens in Spain.
Yeah.
Whenever, or if they're really horribly out of shape and they know they can't make weight, or something. That's because something needs fiddling.
That's because Spain will let you. That's because Spain will let you fight with detached retinas. I'm just saying.
Yeah. No,
if
they need to fiddle it, if they need to cheat the system somehow, Frank's fighters go to Spain so they can do it there. That's what happens.
Yeah, but also beyond that, Bob is a boxing guy. Frank is a boxing guy. Eddie Hearn and Barry, those are boxing guys, man. Right? Wait. Al is not a boxing guy, so you don't even have those resources that they have. They're like, look, my guy Yard just got smacked around in Russia and Chelyabinsk by Sergey. Let's set him up real nice over there in like Spain. Give him a little bounce back fight, little rebound fight under the radar. Nobody knows nothing. It's not on TV to get him back in the winner's bracket. They have those resources, but because Al is not a boxing guy, he don't even know how to do that. Now, what you gonna do? You're gonna have a tune-up fight. Wait, I'm not done. You're gonna take Fox's money, which is why I'm hearing what I'm hearing. You're gonna take Fox's money and spend it on a tune-up fight? How much money did it cost them for that like Showtime, for example, or Fox, any one of the two networks? You costing them money out their budget to give Broner fights? Broner? Broner? We're gonna spend money on Broner out the budget?
Okay. I got you, Julie.
The point
Go ahead.
I wanted to make was, if you really understood boxing, you would understand that actually legacy is what creates the real money. And on top of that, if Bob cared about his fighters, they would be better trained, so that let's take Canelo Alvarez. Alvarez is heavily dedicated to his training, and he's shown constant improvement in his craft. So he doesn't take a lot of punishment because he's working on things. Like, the best way to keep a fighter safe is to keep them in the gym training. A lot of what happened to Deontay Wilder is because his fitness wasn't what it should be. Just because he looks aesthetically good, Wilder said he doesn't do road work, he doesn't skip, he doesn't do this, he doesn't do that. So when stuff gets real, he doesn't know how to protect himself.
Anthony Yard, to your point, Anthony Yard, according to him and Tunde, they don't spar. Now, I've heard it repeatedly. I've heard it. No, here's the thing.
It's constantly out there, Doc. It is out there. It's out there.
That Anthony Yard narrative is bullshit, though. How many people are going to keep repeating it? It's been said 1,000,001 times that shit is bullshit. Yard does spar.
Yeah, I think
ever since Tunde said that we didn't spar for this fight, everybody thinks they never sparred. That was just a complete and utter fucking troll.
Okay. So Tunde was just trolling, or was it just that fight they didn't spar for?
He was trolling. Yard sparred for that fight.
He is a epic troll. I gotta give Tunde. I'm not even trying to be funny. Like,
Yard's gonna beat fucking Anthony Joshua.
Bro, I've never had to drop off a hangout so fast in my life. Just because, you know what I mean? Because I didn't want it, because it was an interview and I didn't want to, you know what I mean? Mar the proceedings. I had to, as soon as he started talking about heavyweight title, I had to eject. And Tunde is priceless. But I'm not trying to paint Al as some kind of plaster saint, Julius. I hope you understand that. What I'm getting at
is... Big up the Sean Porterhouse.
No, I gotta stop. No, Julia, Mark, I gotta I gotta say, no, the Keith Thurman one I'm with. Now, hang on, the Keith Thurman one I'm with you. You got Fat Manny, Sean Porter. Let's be fair, Sean Porter stays in shape because he has to.
So does Money.
Man. Where did you even find that?
So's Money.
Adrien ate all the problems, Broner.
So what I think is going on, Julius, from Al's perspective, what I'm trying to say is the angle the angle with his brother is how he sells fighters on the shit, kind of like what.
Yeah, that's the same. Look.
And hang on. And in his mind, he's thinking, okay, a guy like Broner, right? In the old days, when you were fighting 6 times a year, right? You're going to get money out of Broner for 3, maybe 4 years, right? And then you're jobbing him out like, a mullet jobber in WWF. He had already shot or whatever. He's thinking, okay, if I keep these guys fighting once, twice a year, I can squeeze money out of them for a decade or more. You follow?
Yeah. He's basically getting blood out of a rock from these guys. But what's also happening because he's doing this is he's killing their fight. He's killing their work ethic, basically.
Yes. And that goes back to what B.G. London was saying about the fucking there's a bell. I know I talk about bell curves all the time. There's a bell curve to the whole activity and sparring thing, right? If you do too much, and you're going to end up shortening your career.
Yeah.
If you don't do enough, if you're not active enough, you're not sparring hard enough, your body is not going to have the natural hardiness and resistance that it needs. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
That's why a guy like Keith Thurman gets clipped by fucking Riverside Rocky, and you know what I mean. And some people would argue they could have stopped the fight.
There's a happy medium that the fighter has to have. There's a happy medium that they have to have to where they're doing enough to stay sharp. You don't do too much because you shave years off your career, so you don't fight too much, but you don't fight too little because you stop fighting. You stop being a fighter if you stop fighting. It's one of those.
Yeah, you got to be able to take. You got to be able to take the punches. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you got to be able to take the punches. If you can't take the punches, all the skills in the world don't mean anything.
For Keith Thurman to go in there, and I don't downplay it. I take it for what it is. For Keith Thurman to go in there with Riverside Rocky, and this is a tune-up fight. That's what it was supposed to be. That wasn't supposed to be no hard fight. That's supposed to be, this is your get back. This is your rebound fight. And you go in there and languish with him. You go in there and languish with him. You lose to a 40-year-old. Like, dog, it's a lot of guys that.
No, Julius, he didn't languish. He nearly got knocked out. Let's be.
But basically, and then you go.
He nearly got knocked out. Go ahead.
And then you go in there with Manny. You lose your belt. You are unbeaten fighter. He's 10 years older than you. You give this same opportunity to a couple of guys that don't have a promotional engine behind them, right? A couple of guys that the PBC is not propping up. Those guys would have fucked around and won that fight with Manny. But you lost because you focus on the wrong shit. Period. And now
okay, Julius, I don't disagree, but I want you to name a couple names. Name a couple names, Julius, please. Welterweights that would fit the bill of what you're describing.
I would say, under the right circumstances, I would say a Virgil Ortiz. Young, hungry guy, real big kid, could easily fill out the 154. You'd be surprised.
Okay.
Because the reason that Jeff did what he did to Manny. Hold on. The reason
there's obvious. Exactly. That's the name, Julius. Jeff freaking Horn did exactly what you said.
The reason
Jeff treated Manny like a little old man.
That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to have physically, not just.
He's a hungry fighter. He's not. He's like a young, hungry fighter. That's a fighter. And that's guys over at PBC. They think they're some sort of superstars. They're not fighters anymore.
When you get that opportunity that Jeff had got, an opportunity that only comes to you because somebody's affording it to you, naturally, you're supposed to be hungry enough that you actually want it. Like, word, I get to fight Manny? I'm like, shit, I'll fuck around and lose, but it's Manny. I want it, right? These guys will look at Manny for a different reason. Like, oh, well, he old. It's going to be easy. Yeah, you thought it was going to be easy, and that's why he beat you, because at the end of the day, he wanted to win more than you. He's a fighter, and you a WWE superstar. You not like, that's why I don't believe he want to fight Crawford. I really don't believe that.
Let's take two names as well that the PBC have squandered their talent. It's like Doc mentioned Broner earlier. Broner was actually a talented fighter, and all of his talent didn't develop because he didn't have the right come-along fights. He lost motivation because he wasn't fighting frequently enough, and so he stagnated. And that's exactly what's happened to Tank.
I'm gonna say something that might
been quite good.
Tank's still young enough, but I agree with you. Most likely he's fine. But
I'll be honest.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I personally think at some point you need to point at the fighters. Let's be real. You do.
I agree with that as well.
We can't blame Broner's problems on him having 42 kids on Al Haymon.
Oh, no.
You just can't do that.
On Al Haymon. It's not on Al Haymon. And you've also got to look at why the fighters likes this contract as well. It's they're not hungry for success. They're hungry for the wrong things, fame.
Here's
the fighter's fault.
Here's, to me, the fork the real fork in the road for Broner's career was after that Maidana fight. All right. Basically,
no.
Hang on, let me finish, and then you can pick my argument up to pieces. Don't worry. In my opinion, the fork in the road for his career was after he lost to Maidana. He was supposed to have a rematch, and Al came in and decided. This is my opinion when I say Al came in and decided. My opinion is Al came in and was like, no, we're going to have Floyd fight Maidana. All right? Probably because that's a lot more money for Al. Makes sense, yeah? Mm-hmm. But that was I'm not saying he would have beaten Maidana in a rematch. I'm saying that was the fork in the road, though. Do you get where I'm trying to go with this? That was his opportunity. That was going to be his opportunity to make or break. You get
what I'm saying is Broner, and a lot of people aren't going to like this because he's an easy guy to pick on. He was never that good. Look at his resume before Maidana. He was never that good.
That's why I'm saying it was not. I'm not. That's why I'm emphasizing.
Well, now, hold on.
I'm not saying he would have come through, but he didn't even get his chance. Sorry, go ahead.
Now, hold on. Now, the point that I'm making is Broner is the poster child for what happens to a PBC fighter on a long enough timeline when you actually let them fight people. Broner is what they're not doing now. Like, this is why people always say Broner never turned down no fight, which is true. Broner fought a lot of guys. He just didn't beat a lot of guys. But Broner is what happens to a PBC fighter on a long enough timeline when you actually, let him fight people. Let him fight those good fighters. This is what will happen to a Keith Thurman. This is what will happen to a Danny Garcia. This is what will happen to an Eric, because you're not that good. You're killing their fighting spirit with the way that you're handling their careers. You're killing it. You got to keep them out there.
Okay, I agree with everything that you just said, but I think that when you talk about when you talk about killing their fighting spirit, that's the kind of thing I mean when I say, look, man, Broner should have rematched Maidana, and if he got his ass kicked again, that would have been it, and he would have been what he is, and I'll even go so far as to say that's most likely what the outcome is. The point is, he should have gotten the opportunity, right? Al wasn't going to let that happen, in my opinion.
I think Al. All right, now remember. Hold on, wait.
Hold on, Julius. Go on.
All right, now remember, Maidana beating Broner was a big deal, right? The reason that Al probably, and I'm guessing, the reason that Al didn't have a rematch staged is because one of your blue chip guys just took a L. The only one you got who could get that back is Floyd. You send out there and Broner loses again, you're in a bad way if he loses 2 fights back-to-back to Chino.
That's what I'm trying to say. If Broner had lost to Maidana, he wouldn't have been able to squeeze the blood from the stone for however many more years it's been since then the way he has. That's what I'm. Do you see what I'm trying to say? It would have been sink or swim, but that's what it. But hang on, for Broner as a fighter, that's what should have happened. Is he should have had that sink or swim moment. Now, if you want to say,
wait a minute, before y'all say anything, listen. The last time Broner won a fight was against Adrien Granados, 2017, bro.
Yeah, I agree.
But you got no mercy. You got no mercy.
But that's
Julius,
that's the aftermath, Julius.
Before the Madonna fight, though, you see, you guys, have you listened to when Beats does a Prospects Gone Wrong?
Yes.
And when you fully analyse the careers, and Frank Bruno's a good case. When Beats broke down Frank Bruno, like the things that he identifies are well before he has a significant, really bad loss. When a talent isn't developed correctly, then the talent gets squandered. And Frank was a lot better than he ever gets credit for. And I think one of the things that Beats highlighted was Frank never learned what to do when he got hurt. And rather than let him get hurt, his trainer was afraid to let him have those situations and give him a game plan of how to develop and what to do when he was hurt. And if you look at Frank, everyone says, oh, he has a terrible chin. Frank didn't go down when he got hurt. What he did do was always drop his hands. So then he
was just really stunned. He was really stunned, John.
Like, Jumbo Cummings, Mark. Jumbo Cummings.
Yeah, exactly. But if you go back and you watch the Battle of Britain fight, right, when Lennox Lewis is stunned, Lennox knows to hold. Lennox knows what to do when he's stunned to make it out of the round. And Frank doesn't know. Frank he just stands there with his hands down. And every time Frank Bruno got hurt, that's what happened. And he could have learned what to do because he nearly got Lennox out of there. If Lennox didn't know to hold and survive, Frank wins that fight. But Lennox did know. And that happens early on in a prospect's career when they're developing. And the PBC doesn't bring fighters along at all. It tells them they're superstars long before they have any significant fights or have an opportunity to develop properly. And so when it comes to
there it is. They end
up like Wilder.
You cut to the car crash right there. It's about the lack of proper development. Who in the hell is that, Mark?
That's Julius.
Julius, hang on. That's Julius when he was a roadie for Motorhead. Well, I didn't know you were.
No, that's Julius when he was auditioning to be Gimli's son in Lord of the Rings.
All jokes aside, and a lot of people are going to think, oh, I'm just being nice to the UK fighters. Frank's resume isn't bad. Look at who he lost to. You think there's a shame in losing to Mike Tyson 2 times?
Julius,
wait, let me finish.
I grew up in the UK in the 1980s. I grew up in the UK in the 1980s. Frank was a good fighter. Frank was good.
That's what I'm saying. That
just
hold on, wait. Let me get to it. There's no shame in losing to Mike Tyson 2 times. I'm sorry. There's no shame in that, especially back then. No, there's no shame in that. There's no shame in losing to Lennox Lewis. That's one of the greatest heavyweights that ever fought. What do we?
But and he was old, and Frank was old too at the time, and he did really good.
He was actually out jobbing.
If you go back and watch that fight, Frank was so close to getting over the line against Lennox. And there's the few things that actually, if you look at what Beats highlights in that video, if that had happened early on, he might have won that fight. Like, he wasn't very far away. Everybody just looks at the reputation. They don't watch the fight.
Yeah,
exactly. That happens so often, man.
That's what I was alluding to. That's what I was alluding to. That a lot of people are going off of things they heard somebody else say. Because if you watch those fights and then you think about his resume, 5 losses. You want to give him if you want to give him shit for Tim Witherspoon. All right, cool. But ain't no shit.
He's a good fighter though.
No, but I'm just saying that comparatively. Comparatively, Tim Witherspoon,
he was winning that fight. Frank was winning that fight, and if he'd have been smart, he would have just done enough to get the nod.
Bro, terrible Tim. Hang on. I'm not gonna let this go. No. Terrible Tim Witherspoon was not just a good fucking fighter. Lots of people thought he beat Larry Holmes and got stiffed on the cards. And Larry got. I'm not saying this was fair. And afterwards, Larry got a lot of heat for not rematching terrible Tim Witherspoon. Go ahead, guys.
That's true. Tim's a good fighter. Tim's a good fighter.
No, he was an excellent fighter. He was at minimum an excellent fighter.
Yeah. I'm happy with all of that. But if you go back and watch the Frank fight, and it's the first live fight I ever watched as a kid, and I've watched it a lot of times since. If you go back, Frank was winning the fight until he gasses out and gets taken out.
That's exactly what
Frank was
exactly
winning.
What Witherspoon. Yeah, Witherspoon gassed him.
Point.
Yeah, he gassed him and then knocked him out.
Witherspoon got in his head before the fight. Witherspoon rode it out until he saw him gas, and then he took him out. So all the credit to Tim Witherspoon. However, Frank had the ability to win that fight, but he didn't have the know-how to apply that ability. And that's the whole point about I'm trying to make about prospects. It's like
okay. Now I'm with you. Yes, because like there's guys with lots of ability. Like a guilty pleasure of mine was Francis Barthélemy, tons of ability. What did he end up applying it to the maximum? No, not at all.
I can't watch that guy.
Well, I can't watch the fight he had with Easter. The fight he had with Easter was an abomination. That fight with Shafikov, though, you and I will come to blows, Julius, if you think that was bad.
Doc, that's
matchmaking. Don't come on. This is boxing 101. Of course, you got to match him right.
When have you ever seen Denis Shafikov in a boring fight? Never. He's an exciting fighter. So I'm not gonna.
But Shafikov proved that Barthélemy had ability and could fight. I'm saying he had talent. He had ability. He did not maximize that ability. I'm agreeing. He's an underachiever. He's got a fight coming up that I'm not going to watch. God, I thought he'd retire. I thought he'd retired after the Easter thing. It was like working corners.
For you, bro. That's the PBC for you, bro. They kept that dude on the couch. He's been doing Instagram like he'll show fights on his Instagram. That's what
they're gonna job him out to somebody. You watch what I tell you. They're gonna job him out.
Probably. But they better not put him in there with Rolly because he'll beat Rolly.
But can we agree? Francis Barthélemy had ability. He didn't maximize it. He didn't make them, but he had ability. Switching stances, all that shit. He had ability.
Yo, why Cotto look like
Mark? Is that Felix? Is that who that is?
That's fucking Cotto, bro.
Oh, that's Mark. What are you doing?
Bro, I'm having too much fun with this, bro. I'm being honest first. Hold on. Y'all should see what Miguel Cotto and Floyd Mayweather's kids would look like. It's fucking funny as shit.
I don't even know what that means. I need more beer now. This is your fault, Mark.
Oh shit. Cotto looking like Felix out here, B. That's wild.
Yeah, but on the real though, the greatest one I've made so far is Son of Gimli. I don't care, bro. That's hilarious.
Yo, dog, that shit don't even look human.
Yo, Julius, real quick. I wanted to show you. Julius, this can't be shown to human eyes, right? This can't be seen on live streams, right? But I just wanted to show you. I wanted to show you something on Twitter, so I've sent you a couple DMs. Okay.
All right, let me see.
So this guy's gone missing, and leaks of his holiday from Thailand have now been found.
Wait a minute. Thailand, huh? What are we talking about?
Yo, we some fucked up people, man. Look, I'm gonna say this much. We are. And I'm gonna say, look, I don't agree with a lot of his boxing opinions. I don't. It's just that this is my thing. I question the character of anyone who has to resort to what they resort to just to make a quick buck. Like, bro, that means you have no character. You have no character. You, like, as far as I'm concerned, you don't have a soul. If you're willing to lie that much, bro, you don't have a soul. No way. You can't do the shit you do. So, but I can't show you what Mark just showed me because I'll probably get channel in trouble doing that shit. But
no, bro, that'll get your channel actually taken down. Like, you can't show that.
I'm not gonna show that, but it's like, yo, dog, like I feel like he brings it on himself because I see what people say about the guy, and I'm like, damn, dog, people say a lot of stuff off of his boxing opinions, but I be thinking about it too, like, yo, you know what? You bring it on yourself, bro. Like you just a bold-faced liar, man. Like, hey, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. So I'm gonna be debuting at Bridgerweight. How do I look?
Out of shape, to be honest.
I gotta fight with me.
I'll tell you one thing. You look like you've got a hell of a beard.
I got a fight with Miras Breeders coming up, and you know I'm taking to lift that WBC Bridgerweight title from him, and yeah, man. But
bro, you look like you're ready to weight bully Jarrell Miller in this picture. Never mind Breeders, bro.
That's actually from me and Jarrell sparring session. That's when I sparred Jarrell Miller back in November 2015. I was a little heavy. I let myself go a little bit, but I'm all right. I'm gonna end
you look more like my next door neighbor than my next door neighbor.
You look like you're about to take Jarrell on in a cheeseburger eating contest.
I actually won the contest. Gentlemen, I'm gonna end the live early because I want to upload this video. Always a pleasure.
Thanks, Julius.
Take it easy. Thank you.
All right.